Hello, this is Jared playing Oxygen Not Included on hard mode, trying to get all achievements. Last time, I set up this stable here for a slicker, hoping to get a molten slicker over time. I guess, oh, this guy is now tame. Look at that, awesome. So we've got a tame slicker in there. Let's just cover before we go into it too much. What I did last time is, actually I don't have it fully set up, but I'm going to start shipping solid carbon dioxide over to this little section here, in addition to taking in the carbon dioxide that I've been collecting from this space infinite storage down at this location. What I'd like to get up to today is, first of all, I found a couple of problems with this setup, but also some other things. We'll take care of those first. And then with the steel that I've been producing, we got to also produce some glass, but we're going to make solar panels, bunker doors. That might take more than one episode, but we'll start that process. All right, well, with that, let me just show you, I guess, two critical problems that I've noticed. First of all, I was just wondering, did I have a meat line that takes meat from here down to the deep freezer? I do not. But then I went and investigate how this is. If I have it set up over here, I've got a conveyor loader for meat, and meat's stuck there. Oh no, what did I do? What went wrong? Oh, we got some sort of like traffic. Okay. Yeah. I want that to get down here. It just appears as if, okay, this is sleet wheat coming up here. This is, I actually don't think, stuffed berries takes crystal berries, which needs to be cooked over here. Aren't we actually sending this to the wrong location? I'm pretty sure. Okay, that has not fixed the situation. Okay, the other thing, we're going to fix that. The other thing is stress over, 73% here for poor old Explorer. And I realize I've got two dupes over here for the time. I think the problem is the fact that they're overskilled for this particular asteroid. Actually, Builder's probably not in the best situation. Which one or both of them are stressed? They're both getting a little bit stressed. I might send Builder back. If nothing else, though, let's make sure that Explorer gets into the skill scrubber. And we'll make this back to a one dupe show. Where is Builder? I don't want them to be trapped. They're coming up. Taking off their suit. Okay. So that leaves Flora's not really doing an urgent task. Getting that carbon dioxide, not the most essential thing. But let's see if I can come back to this setup here. Meat. Was there? No, this is supposed to be a hop over going in this direction. Oh, I see. That was actually fine. Because that was going... Oh, I see. No, that's okay. That still doesn't. Okay, why does this not want to move? That's essential. That could explain why I don't have as much meat as I had thought. I temporarily cut that. Anything? No. If I temporarily cut this, anything? No. Are you not allowed to go over something like this? Because I do have a dumping spot right there. Let's validate that we actually have that. I mean, I could just dump it here and get this guy to pick it up, worst case. Though I'm not sure why I'm having to do that. Just before I go with that, any other thought? Maybe. We need to do this type of thing where I could bring that over like that instead. Cut that. Give that a quick try. Hoping this is going to be it because I do not want that. Right now we've got 2 million calories. So we've got some time to fix this. But I don't love the fact that I've got meat in the line. Oh. No, that's not the problem. That's not the problem at all. The problem is it's disabled by automation. Ah, okay. Whoops. Well then, given the fact I've got lots of gold, in fact, I've got more aluminum. Go around like that. We'll take that out. Okay, so all the work that I did there, not really need it. Let's come back to this setup here. We could have just left this. We can take this out. I've got to repatch up this little section here. Take that out. Okay, so that takes care of that. Let me just see if Explorer is ready to have some skills. They need to get mech eng, if nothing else. So we'll give them that. A little bit of construction. We won't go too crazy. Don't want them to get stressed out. Oh, a little bit of digging maybe needed. And let's just verify we've got meat. We still don't have meat come. Okay. Whoa, no. Conveyor rail block. Now it's saying. So all roads, I believe, there shouldn't be any connection here or here. Okay, we still have this issue. What if I cut that? No. What if I don't have a connection there anymore? Maybe I do have to go to this side of this thing, which I was not expecting. If I do, I thought I could go over this. Like, we've got no connection there, there, or there. Okay. Next thing to try is maybe I do. Do I really need to do? I didn't think that's necessary. Then when I get the same issue where things can go into here. That first of all, did that even do anything? It did. Okay, so meat is now going. For some reason, I couldn't go through this. Unless maybe, hold on, just before I go too far. Was there actually a connection? Maybe there wasn't. Still flowing. Okay, maybe there just wasn't a connection there. Maybe I just deleted it and all that random stuff I was doing. This line here at the top, is that an old line? Gotta be careful. I see some frostbite, and that should be for the sleet wheat, which would want to be connected into there. All right, I'm a little bit worried if, okay, still see meat going down there. Yeah, okay, at least that is that fix. Okay, so that's that two thing. Meat is flowing from that. And we've got, hopefully, we're now at 79% stress, but I'm hoping that stress will go down a bit. Let's, I'm going to look at some of your comments next. So I've got two comments to cover today. First of all, Emma mentioned that all these little critters here could be potentially eating some of our food. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this little location here with a meat conveyor line. In fact, I haven't that up, have I? In terms of the conveyor rail, but that needs to carefully be put in one of these. I think that is this line in here. Go across like that. In fact, why don't we bring that down there? This will at least keep all these critters at one location. So that's all the different versions of the hatches. Siege. Smooth. I'm not sure if we have any of those anymore. And I must have passed regular hatch. There they are. Oh, maximum 4. Oh, that may not work. How many critters are in this room? 119. Okay. Well, I'll get rid of this, and I'll do this annoying way by selecting each individual one of these guys and asking them to be moved there. So I've asked for these critters to be moved manually. And while the dupes are doing that, let me cover Mahat's comment, which was I could, if I wanted to send liquid over and not worry about that liquid being converted, I could do 1/10 of the volume. Or I guess I could do the same thing with the solids, but essentially the rule is if you're using less than 10% of the material, it won't change state. I'm a little bit I think I'm going to be fine. We'll see how this runs. I'll consider that if this solid carbon dioxide that's freezing temperatures somehow melts crossing there. But yeah, there is a fix to do in there. But let me just wrap this up first. And then we'll move on to the next little section. Have I missed? I've asked for the egg to be moved over as well. Didn't forget about that. A little surprised that the egg didn't move a little bit quicker, given the fact that that's a priority 6. I think there's one hatch I've forgotten about, or maybe 2. Okay, this will be nice to clear our floor just to... auto sweepers are probably picking up the food quick enough, but... Oh, is that a little bit of carbon dioxide? Oh, it is. That's not super awesome for whoever's cooking here. Is there anything we could do? Maybe this and this. I don't know how much that's going to help. We have an electrolyzer that's not too far away as well. I feel like maybe we need an electrolyzer over in this area just to help out with the pressure. Not too far away from water. Let's go check on. I still see max. Oh. Okay. We're better in morale, but our stress level is going up. Where are you? Let's inspect. Stress situation is going down slightly. What I may have to do for a period of time is just up the sleep for Explorer there. Hopefully I don't keep that schedule for long. Did I never build a relaxation room? Maybe I should take a minute to do that. So quickly putting together a plan here. Need to get rid of that ladder, put it in a door, and we'll have a special room for Explorer to reduce their stress. Oh, and cooking. I should probably... We have barbecue meat is being produced, but I will have to give them grilling skills so they can stay on top of that on the one dupe show over there. Okay, so that'll be one of Explorer's tasks for today. Let's just make sure that we've got high stress. Oh, I was going to say not on knit eggs being put in here, and then these cuddle pips and other... this is going to be a work trap, right? Like this. So many critters right here. Let's just do this type of thing. It's a priority 6 too, so that could explain why we're not able to get rid of our knit infestation. Ugh, there's a bunch of them there. That could also contribute to the stress situation. Explorer's probably been bit several times. Okay. Hatches have been moved off the floor. All right. There is some other problems. I'm going to take a moment and I'll take you through those. So there were 2 issues that I have with this setup. First of all, I'm a little bit worried about sending solid carbon dioxide down here. And if it gets converted, I'm not 100% sure if it's able to get up here with 2 layers of liquid. I think I prefer it being dropped off down there just to be safe. The only other thing is I am worried about the amount of effort it will take to transport meat once this system gets going. So again, everything in here needs to be made out of steel, and we'll have a conveyor line. And the pip spot over here, that is also not picking up any meat. So we're going to do that. Why don't we do the conveyor loaders sooner? Really wish you could put in settings before you actually build. But I'll make those priority just so that I don't forget to select those with meat. Otherwise, they're not going to do anything. See that we've got a little bit more room to work in here. Let's go to max speed. Stress coming down at least, so that's a good sign. Actually, that's actually over here, isn't it? Massage table going in there. That's going to need some power. I'm going to use the heavy watt wire line. Might have to design that after. Okay. With this, let's go hit meat. Copy the settings coming up here. Got that applied. We just need a little bit more of a line. We don't have power, do we? No more meat being stuck over here. Okay, this has been powered up. A little bit of meat. And it is not moving. Okay. Why is it still under construction? It is not. Oh. Okay, this must have been some of the work I have done. That is meant to go on the left side deep freezer. And yeah. Okay, that's important to get fixed up. Still. Oh. Still. Why will you not move? Which means that won't work either. Hold on. Why are you being so picky? Same problem. Okay. All right. It's the automation. Whoops. Keep being burned on this. What am I going to do? Probably go up like this. Take that out. And we'll do a little jump like that. Come back over to this asteroid. I'd like to get this area set up. Looks pretty good right now. Let's just take out that little pathway in there. Actually, that one we'll keep. We need to plant that and take the cooler temperatures. This one actually looks like it's going to work fine. And we'll need a heavy watt wire to go into that guy. Let's see here. We've got our meat line running. There's a little bit of meat. Let's validate that it's able. Yeah, it's nice and cold. We've got minus 24 over here. Similar thing, even colder on this side, interestingly enough. That's probably because the hydrogen line visits that side first. Okay, with our meat line, I think that was everything that I was concerned about with this. So we can put that away. Now let's start producing some glass. So earlier today, without actually having the game open, I was thinking to myself, with glass production, I probably want to put that underneath this little setup. So I make that would essentially make it really easy to get that hot molten glass to be dropped off in this room. And I forgot, I never really planned this out such that don't have the greatest amount of space. I'm going to try to push that up here. Don't know if this is actually going to make it into that. I've never actually had a long enough line. I don't want that molten glass to break into solids, but you know what? Let's give this a test. So I was preparing for this earlier in terms of the material that I wanted. So I'm asking for more ceramic, but I've got a bunch of ceramic to start with. I'm going to essentially do a few things before I put in the machinery. I want to be able to access up here so that we can get in a dupe selector, dupe motion sensor, that is. You know, it says motion, but if the dupe stands still while they're working down here, does it actually, I'm pretty sure it does, but by the definition of the motion, kind of makes me question. Okay, so what I want to do is, I think I can actually just put it in now. That's meant to go in right like that. I'm going to put in a storage for sand to the side with an auto sweeper. And here's the question, part that I don't know. I forgot that we would have all this mess too. All right, give me some time. So after taking a closer look, I'm even more worried now. That's because we're gonna be, I'm a little bit worried about putting this hot stuff right on this thermo aquatuner and breaking it. But if I go further out, that means there's even more risk of this turning into solids. So what do we have to do here? We need to get that cut, so that we can isolate that out. Then we'll have this insulated along that way. Get rid of that little end. Let's go back over this setup. What was I meaning to do? I think we need some sort of power connection. That'll do. So that gives us a room for Explorer. Should they get... Oh, they're still at 86% stress. And body temperature. Oh, it is far too cold. Ooh, okay. You know what? Maybe we don't actually care about the actual room. We'll just make sure we get a massage table built. All right, well, this is meant for sand. The dupes can start to collect that. Let's just make that a priority 6 for a short period of time. And then I'm going to ask for a single piece to be created. This is where mayhem can happen. So the automated lights is working. Let's send that back down to a 5 now that we get a little bit of sand in there. So work area has been set up. A little bit of sand is in there. Minor, high stress. Let's explore. They've got a long night to sleep. I'm not worried about them. I'm worried about this. Okay, 1900. No, okay. Oh, I think we're gonna be fine. I think we'll be fine. And then we've got that sitting down here. Well, if that works, oh, never mind. I was gonna get liquid water to be dropped directly on this. Maybe that's not even necessary. Okay, awesome. Well, perfect. Glad that this appears like it's working. So let me set that to 99 so we can make a bunch of glass. And let's just take a second to make sure that our sleet wheat experimental farm is looking fine. Our normal sleet wheat. We've got our water weed down there. Okay, with that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip to one of my other asteroids to have a look at what I want to essentially model this off of. So I don't often look at past Asteroid, so you can tell when I'm a little bit worried about possibly getting things wrong. But I don't think this is going to be too bad. So we get bunker doors. I've got some mesh tiling, and that's right, Robo Miners that can access. I've got one to bail another one out. So this guy here should not have stuff on it. And then solar panels where I kind of twist that around, making sure we've got a couple space scanners. I'm going to take a screenshot or two of this, and I'll meet you back on the other asteroid. So to start with, I'm realizing I haven't actually explored all the way up. I normally go 2 tiles out, so I'm getting an assistant to fly all the way up here so we can open up the skies. Let's just go right to, I think that should cover that. Let's just make sure we stay nice and high. And I'm not wanting you to go down just yet. Okay, perfect. This is going to allow me to be able to see what I want to do. And I'm going to start with bunker doors 2 tiles away just to catch a little bit of material. And if I do need the dupes to go up there to open or dig some stuff out, I'll have that option. So, not surprised, but putting in this many bunker doors, 500 kilograms each, we're out of steel. So let's me actually just thinking, do we have slime lung problem? That appears like it's gone. Okay, so while the dupes build that where they can, notice that we've got some pacus down here that we could wrangle, probably get them into this zone. We will ask for more and more steel to be made. What's our limit? We've got 15 tons of iron, 5 tons of refined carbon. It's lime. And I made this a lower priority to use the rock crushers. But we should be able to automatically bring in some of the eggshell and fossil. I know poke shells is not something we're going to have a whole lot of. I should see the dupe flip to start using. Yeah, there we are. Engineer on that. And miner on that. See some meat being provided up here. Did we ever improve the... okay, we've got another electrolyzer, but it didn't seem to help things significantly. What if I put an electrolyzer right in the middle? Do we have any water lines? There's a cooling line, but we could change that out, I suppose. Kind of like that. Let's look up in space. First few bunker doors being made. Builder taking care of that. Steel level 0. We are out. So it takes a lot of steel to make this project. Fortunately, I think once we get this bunker doors, I'm going to need a little bit of steel for like the automation line and power line that goes through that, but I think that's primarily it. I will want to make the rocket platforms out of steel. We'll just need to start with one of those, I figure. But yeah, I would like to improve the oxygen situation in the... Oh, maybe we shouldn't build that until we get rid of the polluted water line. Otherwise, we'll potentially cause a breakage there. Rid of that. Okay, with that, let's make a cut right there. That must be an old line. We'll get rid of that. I'm gonna make this out of gold amalgam, just to be safe. Connect that into our water line. Does that have power? A little bit of an electrical issue. It looks like fluctuating temporarily anyway. We'll need to do some electrical upgrades at some point. Plenty of food available in the fridge area. Okay, maximum pressure though. I wonder if this is a good option. I don't normally do this, but maybe it's more the carbon dioxide. Let's actually get rid of that. I assume I've got a few... Oh, okay, now we have to go the other way around. Just a sec. Okay, let's do some rerouting of the piping. Still want to get water to go down, but I want polluted water to go up a little bit. Steel production going on. I should also track glass. How is that going? A ton and a half of glass. Let's just look briefly. Halfway, well, I didn't actually get the full way across with our bunker doors, but the amount that I placed, we're halfway. Okay, with this, how about we do that? Not quite meant to do this type of thing. That allows me to disconnect that, which will allow me to do this. And I didn't actually take an inventory of what we have for plants. And all the time that we're almost at cycle 500. We'll be at cycle 500 today. Have I planted? Can't forget the name. The Oxy, yeah, there is a number. Oh, actually, I think we find them natively on this asteroid anyways. There's no way I planted 14. Their temperature 0 to 40. We're gonna be fine with that. That should improve the oxygen situation, I would hope. We have water. Why are you not happy? Oh, fertilization. Oh, it takes dirt. Didn't know that. All right, after a little bit of dirt has been provided, we'll see about that. I might actually change that out, to be honest. Okay, so I think that one thing that will work a little bit better than those two plants is carbon skimmer, maybe. Try that out right here. So we're gonna need to provide water. So we can do that like that. But we're also gonna have to deal with the polluted water. My thinking for that. Let's send that up to here. And have the plants consume them. That should, thinking that should work out. I think that'll do a much better job to reduce the carbon dioxide down in the kitchen area. Let's go check on Explorer. So they still have more conveyor rails power to work on. Not really in a rush. Let's check on our little critter here. They're happy. Any eggs? Oh, ooh, whoops. Okay, forgot something. Oh, right. I had designed this to get the molten slicker eggs, but we haven't been getting the temperature up, have we? Probably because we're not in need of cooling. Which means this guy probably the molten, a very small chance. Okay, well, let's keep both types of eggs for now until we can get that area to be hot enough. The whole area is cooling down, which is not a bad thing to see, to be honest. What I could do is try to bring in a few pieces. We'll use aluminum since aluminum's in the area. Dot that down that way. Connect this through like that. Let's get rid of that little end. See if our system is set up. Okay, it's carbon skimmer running. Hoping that is going to reduce our carbon dioxide level to make it a little bit easier for our chef and baker. Already looks visibly better. And the polluted water, let's check on that. That's being backed up a little bit. That's only because they haven't completed construction. Notice this door here doesn't need to be shut. And I didn't notice you. You could possibly be keeping dupes up at night, couldn't you? Let's look at the light. Oh no. Can light not go through? That's perfect then. Guess we don't. Oh! Oh! Ooh! Shine bug directly in. Oh, because I see. I'd opened this up. Those shine bugs. Okay, let's patch that up. Get this shine bug out of there, please. Okay, now we're able to consume the polluted water. I didn't put a priority order in there. Maybe should have, but we'll see if it works out enough. I think that is looking much better. Okay, so that is that. Let's look at this little project down here. So oddly enough, I actually want heating to happen. Why don't we do this? Open this up a little bit with the idea that I could put in some, actually maybe I should have done this the other way around, since it's a much bigger, hotter area on the left side. And I'll take some sandstone and I'll do this. And we'll dot in a few pieces of aluminum along that way. Check on our bunker doors. Making progress there. And steel, 2 tons of steel. Glass, 2 tons of glass. So I'm going to ask for more glass. I'm going to ask for more steel. Make a little bit more iron at the same time too. Cooling here. I would prefer to do cooling here than here. So maybe this is what I should do. Oh, that's why that's been breaking. Okay, so it's not this machine that's breaking, but a little bit of solid material. Essentially ice is forming, polluted ice in the pipe, breaking because I never set this. Okay, whoops, 25. I so wish in this game that they would make it such that you could put in the settings for something before it gets built. Because a lot of times by the time it gets built, I forget about it. Anyway, that turns this off. Which means that this should do the job. Let's check that I have something sensible, 20 degrees, that's fine. That's going to make that prioritize running first so that we can get some heat. So that was a fix with that setup. Now, we've got plants in here that we don't need anymore. Need to get a way to get across on that side. In fact, I guess the dupes can't get in there. So technically, shouldn't have anyone providing material. Anyway. Polluted water line looks completely fine. Okay, so yeah, I think that is going to work out quite well. Making it much more breathable for those working in the kitchen. Bunch of electrolyzers around here. Let's just fill in some tiling, take some of these out. If I dig out the plants, pips are definitely going to get in there anyway. Okay, so there is that. Let's go down to this setup. Not done just yet. What about up here? Okay, still waiting for that. I did focus on... Okay, our bunker doors are created. Just for safety, so I don't forget. Maybe we'll put in that. Okay, Chabal, let's wrangle you. You do have a little bit of a hiding place from our dupes, though. To be fair. And I went too quickly there. Let's make sure I don't go to change the material. In fact, I think the only thing you can make those out of are steel anyways. That's another thing I wish the game didn't do, is make it so easy to change the material. Or make it more obvious when it did, anyway. Where were we? Down here. Just want to disconnect this now. Patch that up. And that should start to transfer all the heat from here. I wouldn't mind cooling down this place. In fact, should have went in here. So that's at least a little bit warmer. And once it gets above, in fact, you know what? Now let's leave that as 20. So once we go up, we're going up at 16. Once we go through these tiles, we're coming out at 19. Not quite enough to warm things up, but let's just give that some time. A little bit of steel production. Okay, well, I'm going to have to think now. What do I do? Oh, I know. A mammoth egg, sure. They will want to go into the cold area. I'm sure they'd be more comfortable up here. But, oh, right. I don't need steel for a lot of the other construction. So actually, I can go ahead with some of the construction down here, even though we haven't fully covered the sky just yet. So for the next step, I'm putting in my Robo Miners, essentially putting them in side by side. And one's going to be covered, and the other is not. The only reason for having the other is just to be able to access these two tiles here. If I click on that, just verifying. All right, so the other thing I've got to think, we got to bring in power. But before we worry about power, let's do cooling. So we've started that process here. Dupes should be starting work on the project. And making more steel and glass. And we've got 2 conductive panels. I can't believe there was a time in this game that there wasn't conductive panels. I can't remember what I used to do in space. I think I had liquid access on things. It was much harder. But that's no longer the case. So that will be our cooling line. I'm going to make a priority just for the protection purposes of doing that. Technically, we should be able to, with this, get rid of our protection down here. Actually, that's going to give us some of our steel back. So let's definitely do that. This guy here, try re-wrangling. Whoops. Not quite what I wanted. Okay, we are leaking gas out in space, tubes. Doctor, coming out here. Let's get you back down here, Doctor. No. Ugh. And we've got scientist. Oh, scientist was able to go through. Oh my goodness. Okay, scientist, first of all. Unequip your jet suit. Oh, okay. Seriously, guys, you don't understand how bad I want you to make that one tile. Oh, stop it. Thank you, engineer. Okay, let's ask for that to be destroyed. Just gonna check quickly to see was there anyone wearing jet suits around the base. I don't think anyone was able to slip by unnoticed. Okay. Someone should be moving this shovel, hopefully. Oh, right, and I've got to resupply because we've lost a few suits from this setup. Okay, a little bit of a tear down. This has given us some of the metal steel back. What did I make? I think it was gold amalgam that I made the Robo Miners out of. Hoping that should suffice. If I had excess steel, I'd probably make them out of steel. Though I think, especially with the cooling line, we should be fine. Oh, and this is for nuclear waste. Currently, yeah, need to unblock that. Any nuclear waste in here, by the way? Seems like we've got clear of that. A little bit of polluted water. Did not see that, though. Occasionally, I might ask for some of these little critters to be moved. Gather them in a single tile so they don't have wandering locations. Take one of these Sweetles. Actually, will a Sweetle be fine in a cold area? Maybe I should drop them in here instead. Technically, I guess these can't be built unless we have the mesh tiling. Just doing random bits of priority. We get the dupes out. There's only 6 dupes at a time can go out. And I guess... No, oh wait, I think that actually has a purpose of making sure dupes don't fly out in an uncontrolled way. Though I think that's not necessary. Four tons of steel. So how about we start laying the automation. 4 tons. Oh, we didn't fully connect. And once we've got more steel, I plan on going the full way at some point, maybe around here. We're going to plan to have our rockets shoot out, so I won't need these anymore. Or they'll still be there, they'll just be a little bit lower. In fact, now that I think about it, let's clear out a spot so our rockets can come down a bit. Okay, double check on this asteroid over here. Things are going slow, it appears. We've got our little massage table. Stress is down to 30%. Oh. Right. I forgot. Well, let's not have them sleep the day away so they can get a little bit more done each cycle. Okay. Love the fact that everyone has jet suits. Also really like the fact that we've got tube access right up here, so they don't need to put on their suits down here and then fly up. They only need to start flying from this location. Oh, a little bit of water. I must have missed some ice. Temperature is well above freezing, so I don't think we have to worry about that turning back to ice. Okay, so we have some Robo Miners. I'm going to have to provide power both to up here and down here. To make sure that the power doesn't break, that's going to be more steel. And I'm probably going to have to split. I'm going to run wiring across this whole thing. Oh, we got one little section here, didn't we? Oh no, I was mixing up the power and automation. Okay, is that more alerts for hunger? We're still getting that happening. Carbon dioxide levels in the kitchen area seem to be under control at least. How about our overall water situation? Excessive water here. These Pacus seem comfortable in this zone. This guy is dormant for 27 cycles. This guy is overpressured. Oh, not the biggest deal, but if I were to let that liquid go, would it matter? I would cause... Maybe what I'll do is I'll put in a wall. If I find myself short of carbon dioxide, here's another opportunity. What about the heat in this room? Steam. Where did this steam come from? Did we have some ice or something? We had a little bit of water somehow. That's unfortunate. Okay, let's stop. Shoot. Where did the steam come from? It must have been water somehow. On the one hand, does it matter? I also worry about these guys in here being flooded, so we might need some mesh tiling now that I think about it. You're glum. Maybe a sign that we need another dupe that can do some of the ranching for us. Long hair. We don't want to see too many of those. I could try just pumping out. I would need ideally some very well insulated pipes. I don't think we need to get rid of all the water or all the steam. As long as it stays up, these guys are going to have plenty of carbon dioxide to breathe. Sure, I guess that's fine. Let's take that little bit of water and kick it out. Maybe I'll put that back in operation. Taking a bit for dupes to come and get rid of water. Doing mopping up, that is. A little bit of a surprise. There we go. Maybe some. Okay, so we've gotten rid of the water as far as I can see in here. And just for the sake of these guys not flooding, maybe put some mesh tiling in there for them. Now, if this was, if I send in material from here, I'm going to make sure that we don't have ice selected. It's only solid carbon dioxide that we want to see. Might need to also check. Oh, yeah, this guy here. Okay, asking for some eggs, which I don't think we need to ask for anymore. Okay, that makes that a mystery. I have no idea how we ended up getting into this situation where I had so much steam. That is bizarre. Let's go check on our construction project up here. Everything seems decent. Going to ask for some of this power to be brought across. I'm thinking of trying. I don't know if I should break this into 2 or 3 circuits. I'll try consider maybe 2. And we can always upgrade to 3 later if need be. The idea there is if I make this 1 circuit, it's not going to power them all. So once a meteorite starts shutting or starts hitting, I want to make sure these doors get shut. And divvying up smaller circuits mean essentially it's going to happen quicker. Don't think we're going to need that in the end. And a little bit of lot of carbon dioxide just building up simply because it's being trapped between 2 pieces of water. That's caused that to be overpressured. Is there any chance? It doesn't super matter. I'll cut that. All right, we'll keep an eye on this to see if I get steam again in here. Okay. Back to this project then. That's some of the automation wire. So the automation wire can stretch the whole thing. Power we'll try splitting in 2. I think I also need to have steel come down a tile or 2. Then after that we can switch to something else like gold. Did I reach every one of those? Looks like I did. Okay. $2.6 million calories. Oh, rotten stuff berry. Is that from? I don't actually have a spot to deal with stuff that's bad. I should remove that, at least from that area. Anything else rotten? A little bit of polluted dirt. Dirt levels. Over 1,000 tons. I don't think we need to worry about dirt. Refresh our order of steel. Oh, cycle 503. So we've crossed 500. I'll take a little bit of aluminum ore. And I'll need to think about, I think it's rocketry, I believe. Or maybe not, maybe it's automation. Okay, a scanner. Where do I put these? If I want them to be most efficient, I guess this would be this location. Stretch a few of them across. Not a lot of material. I'll make that out of steel, even though I don't think it's critical that it is. Let's see. I think this is the point where we get the maximum efficiency of the space. Let's put one there. One there. I don't even think we need a third one, but I think I'm going to put one anyway. Maybe even a fourth one. Just, yeah, let's do 4. They're going to need tiles underneath. I can't remember if they actually need cooling. Oh, I should be able to tell by looking at the heat production to see if any heat is made. Generally, automation, if sensors don't provide heat, it consumes power, but does not say anything about heat. Okay, that means we don't need cooling. Same thing with solar panels. They also don't provide heat or create heat. I guess technically it would sit that there. Okay, so our first solar panels. What happened here? Okay, and I'm curious if I messed up with, nope, that one seems fine. Now, maybe I use the aluminum. That way I can save some of the ore, because I'm producing aluminum and I'm producing gold, but I'm not producing ore. I only have so much ore, so that's my thinking of upgrading this. Not that I need it for the actual fact that it can hold more power. Need to visit power on these 4 guys as well. Oh, switching to steel. I do not love how it switches me. Finish that with some lead. Let's check our volcano situation. This guy's going to be active in 18 cycles. Part of me wishes that I had dealt with this guy. Maybe I will consider doing that so we'd get another source of metal. Let's just do a measurement. I would want generally at least 4 tiles plus, oh no, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tiles above. If I were to kind of measure this out, 1, 2, okay, so that way we want to keep going up into there. Which means we may want to get rid of that for now. Harvesting, okay. I might need to enable harvest here. And the temperatures, okay, I've been working on this cooling system for far too long. Let's see if we can ethanol. Why? What am I missing? Sweep only ethanol. Is there no? There is definitely ethanol around. Maybe that's just not high enough priority. Maybe it's naturally lower priority to put in ethanol. Radiation vomiting. Okay, that's a first. And you probably made a mess of the suit. Okay, that came about, I suspect, because I never even considered them on hard mode, so dupes are more susceptible to the radiation. It's mostly safe, it says, but again, they're more susceptible than most. If their diet is Frostburger, that should be limited. I could make only make them only eat Frostburger. If that becomes a problem, I may consider doing as such. Kind of feel like for some reason we need to refresh these suits. Okay, so we've got our scanners, we've got our solar panels, we've got our cooling. We're going to need to have transformers. Maybe I'll have that come up. Doesn't even tell me what's wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're just hungry. Need to up that setting, I'm thinking. So here's what I'm thinking. I've got a little bit of time left. Let's get this project finished. Let's get the cooling going. Let's get the automation connected. And that way we can start testing this out to see if it's good, if it's able to be powered, if it's able to be open and closed. And then next time I will finish the left side as well as put in a number of rockets. 4 or 6 is kind of what I'm thinking. So I need all achievements. In fact, I haven't really been focusing on achievements. Nothing new. Launch your first rocket into space. We're going to be getting that probably next episode. We're going to research everything. We need to get better clothing. Critter Whisperer, we'll have to place with. I think the thing I'm worried about the most is the mining. So actually, we probably will need a good fleet. So maybe more towards 6, possibly even 8. We got to get Land Rovers on all world. Oh, I didn't realize we had to Land Rovers everywhere, so it should be easy enough. Radical trip, that's not going to be a problem. We're going to make a really nice rocket to get morale, high ground. The GMA, okay. I have done that years ago. My experimental farm has not returned anything of value up to this point. Stop interrupting me, dupes. Okay. I might, because we're in space right now, I'm going to force the dupes essentially to only eat Frostburgers. Tender brisket, anything else out here. So if I run out of Frostburgers, we're in trouble. Because this fridge, then I will get real alerts. Does the fridge sends a green signal when full? I should be able to get an alert. So I would want a buffer. I don't want to be alert as soon as the fridge is empty, because that would not make sense. Filter, which is the one we'll continue to hold. I think it's like it's a buffer. And then an alert. Automate. Let's make that like that. This is going to be important setup right here. Kind of surprised I didn't already have this built, to be honest. How long? Maybe if the fridge... We'll try 30 seconds, and if it annoys me, and we can always increase it, the auto sweeper should, within more than 30 seconds, keep this guy, yeah, definitely. In fact, you know what? Let's try 10 seconds. Okay, so this will give the dupes, let's just double check, soul food, which gives stress reduction. Wait a minute, I thought that gave them, I think it's a separate setting. Radiation resistant, because they're eating something made out of, from, I guess, growing in water, which is the lettuce. They're getting a 20% reduction to radiation, which helps on hard mode in particular. This is, again, where I wish I could put in the settings in for this before it's actually built. Let's just up that priority. Starvation, you're not really. Let's check our gold volcano, currently active. So our cooling system is not operating. Why? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Power. How? Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. What happened? Oh, right. Yep. That was forgotten. That was key. That was key. Fluid water leaking down here. This is key. We're going to make that yellow alert. Okay, perfect. So that should now provide power. I want to make sure I keep getting polluted water into the world, but I don't really want to deal with it per se. So we're just going to leak it down here. Nice thing about this, it's not just polluted water. It's also cool liquid. So there's plenty of place for that to go. We've actually made this inaccessible, technically, by that sand. Sand can be dangerous. Imagine if we had trapped a dupe when that had happened. That would have not been great. Maybe we'll dig down just for a little bit of buffer of sand to fall into, as well as a liquid. Dig that out for a little bit of copper ore. A little bit of lime. Can definitely use that. Refresh our steel production. We're up at 6 tons. That's good to see. First solar panels being installed. So I may need to switch to this here. Let me just feel like the dupes, again, are going to take a long time. Let's see how this goes. We want to bring up power like so. Okay, good job. Just to pull the dupes up in this area, I'm going to up priority. My thinking is they're going to fit. There's only so many suits anyway, so it's not like the whole, every single dupe's going to come up to do this. There's a maximum of 6. Plus, certain dupes are favoring tasks like cooking and working with critters anyways. Let's just inspect a few. Critters groomed. Groomed. So that's actually not too bad. Oh, did I see crammed? Why am I seeing crammed? Oh, okay, problem. Again, this is where I wish I could put in the settings before that's actually is built. Okay, so did not notice that. Meat, though, I don't think... Yeah, we've got an excessive amount of meat. So food is not going to be our problem. I don't even think I really need this whole setup. I didn't need the excessive petroleum. I think in my mind, I was like, well, I've got this excessive carbon dioxide. I might as well make use of it, right? No power. See a little bit of liquid polluted water on the ground. It's probably radiation. Whoever was sick from radiation poisoning, that's what that would be all about. Anywhere else? Oh, rotten surf and turf. Let's just get that out of that zone. So yeah, just one of these seems to be powering 19 dupes. with their jet suits. Nice to see. What's with the not able to dig down there, dupes? Actually, what is with that? Oh, that's weird. What? Yeah, I've seen the game do this before. That's strange. Okay, let's not worry about that. Did I see zombie spores? Slime lung is back. But just in a further away area. Shoot. Put this in place just to deal with some of the polluted oxygen. Try to target that. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh. Crude oil with zombie spores. Okay, that's not the issue. It's the heat. I didn't even notice that was that hot. Oh, I drilled into one of these and... Oh. 700 degrees. Wow. Maybe that was a mistake. Okay, let's just seal that up. I no longer think that the slime lung's really the main issue right now. Okay, back over here. We actually need that to be connected to there. Oddly enough, not seeing any solid carbon dioxide here. But anyway. Oh, it's already selected for solid carbon dioxide. Oh, probably because it's already been sent over to the other asteroid. This one hasn't, simply because those two things aren't built, but there we are. Okay, so here we see some of the solid carbon dioxide on the move. The only thing over time that's going to be an issue is these guys produce heat. So eventually it will no longer be solid carbon dioxide. But I kind of don't want to use ethanol as a cooling system. In fact, okay, see that this is set up now. Hydrogen, a little bit low. Okay, I was not expecting that. Saturn critter trap. Let's extend these then. I guess we're consuming more power. At the end of this episode, we'll have some solar panels. So that's going to help. Let's deliver the plant seed first and then the pip. Okay, so we are short hydrogen. What about this setup here? Okay, that blocks that off. I could pull in hydrogen from here. Okay, that is, well, I was going to say technically we're producing power, but we're not because these are not open yet. And we don't want to do that. I'm going to take a moment to design the transformer system. Okay, to finish things off for today, I'd like to provide some power up there. So we'll need some, figure a double transformer. And as long as we have a conductive wire, that will be able to handle that much wattage going through it. So here is the conductive wire coming up. We haven't fully designed it. Yeah, pathway up here, so it's not too hard. Just making sure that we don't interact with our heavy watt or heavy watt conductive wire line. We'll need to also make sure these guys stay nice and cool. I don't think it'll be a problem anytime soon. You know what? Not worried about that just yet. It's in a very cold area. I think they're going to be okay for a very long time. Oh, and realize there's one thing that dupes can't build without maybe a ladder going in down there. Okay, so there is our transformers that are initially going to feed. We will have another double set of those, maybe even 3 by the time we're done. But this episode, we'll try running on just one. I will need an automation line that goes up here. I'm going to switch Orton to switch to steel because I think meteorite damage can affect the tile underneath these guys. So it strikes here, but the damage could happen between that tile. So I don't think this actually needs to be made of steel, but this one does. Another Rex. That Ag never got on the move. So let's put a priority on moving that, moving that. Since we were short power, never mind. I was gonna focus on the solar panels, but until we have the automation, let's put that. Oh no, technically that's the automation one. We will also need cooling. So for that, what's close? I'll dig into here for some sandstone access for our construction project. Got one dupe miner that should be focusing on that before anything else. Making sure that I've looked in here. I think I have. Okay, we were not lucky with that pip. That is a tame pip. Try that. And then we can get rid of, let me just switch to building destruction mode. So glad to see all these temperature management finally happening in there. Should be focusing on that, moving that pip though. Another seed. Move yet another seed. I didn't have to go specifically looking for these. I'm going to make a rule. Once I fill this spot here, if I need more power, I'm going to get it from a different way than working with the Saturn critter traps. Okay, what about that? I don't think this was the pip for some reason, unless, oh, the dupe's probably on break. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Ah, meteorites. Okay, so we're getting slime. It's not the only thing that falls, I believe. What do we have? Regolith. That can be hot. So I don't think there is much danger from that, but I don't like seeing these guys in here. Did we get that sandstone? We did. Okay, so with that sandstone a little bit closer, we'll tie into our cooling line. Maybe going up and like that. Our scanner is in place. Nice. Okay. I'm actually quite excited to test this out. We'll have our cooling, making sure that we keep this nice and cool. I believe we only need to connect the automation wire to one of these. The other ones are just for enhancing the overall network quality, giving more time for the doors to open if we get a little bit of advance notice on meteorite showers. What? Oh, oh. Are you guys picking up slime at priority? That's a 5. I probably have a slime storage. Where is that? How do I figure out? I mean, I could follow them. That's one option. Can I pick up slime that's been stored? If I get slime just sitting there. Or maybe the fact that this is a high priority building naturally, so a 5 is high, so I should make that a 4. Maybe that's what's happening there. I don't want them at high priority to pick up slime. That just seems like wasted labor. Disable harvest there, just double checking that. Okay, using some of that sandstone. So this is not excessively hot stuff. I think the solar panels can break if they get too hot. So I will definitely want to make sure that, that's one of the purposes of having these is to catch any stuff that's extremely hot, as well as to make sure that if any stuff needs to be dug out, we've got our Robo Miner access to them. They won't go down on anything below, including the solar panels. And certainly we don't want to cover our scanners either. Okay, so starting to see the polluted water come up. I might have connected that a little too soon. So we finally have this system set up. This took a while, and I did kind of change how I wanted this to work. My thinking was I was going to get Explore to work on their skies, but I don't think we have enough steel to make that happen, to be honest. Oh, Explore cannot pick up a critter because this might, hoping this doesn't add distress in me. Look at some of the other dupes. Exosuit training. Astronaut give you more carrying, some construction. Mech give you demolition. Plumber, some construction. Strength should actually give them plumbing skill too. Let's leave you doctor. Okay, exosuit training and strength. Carpenter. Assistant needs, okay, now we get another dupe with the exosuit training and a little bit more strength. Artist. And I wonder if I should have gotten doctor to focus on, oh, I did them focusing on medicine to a certain degree. Maybe artist. I'm going to work towards critter ranching so we get another dupe that can help out with that. Lots of polluted water on this world. Lots of very cool temperatures. Very cool temperatures, in fact. Let's make sure that the gold volcano is set up over here. Currently dormant, but it's going to become active again. Need to go to status to see it. 57 cycles. So it will be a while before we get any more gold. Aha. You could plant that, Pep. Instead of just sitting in there wondering. Oh, you have planted that. Nice. Making sure we've got. I don't want to convert wild. And we may be out of pips. Oh, let's go to the other asteroid. This could help us get one of our achievements. Let's see. Let's give that. Sure, artist can take that since you're walking by. Double check down here. We contain that issue. And we'll make a priority for this whole thing. I think that will be it. Let's see here. We've got a scanner coming up. That's going to open the doors. It doesn't need cooling. I'm pretty certain we'll be fine with that. I think as soon as these doors open, all this stuff falls down. Or if it doesn't, even if it doesn't, the mining equipment can access it. I'm a little worried that if that was the case, though, this guy... We'll see. We'll see. I'm curious if I need one on both sides. Okay, yeah, let's definitely put in this wall here just to protect meteorites that may come into this direction. I don't know if the same thing may happen down here. We'll find out over time whether this guy takes damage or not. Okay, and this guy has expired, but we've got... oh, you know what I would need? Don't have. Because I'm still assuming that we'll have only molten, which is not true right now. So I'm going to select Slicker. And there's some water. Where's that coming from? There's a little bit of water down here too. I can't get it in my head. And some up here as well. I cannot get it in my head where water's coming from. What I may need to do to assist is that. But if it just keeps happening... I was going to say they can fly through the solar panels, but no, they're just flying through the one that was not built yet. Okay, so going back to this. I am confused. What was I doing too? I want this to be high priority. We should have a true signal. Okay, we need to have this at this right setting. So if the critter count is ever below 4, we should get a true signal. Let's make that. Okay, already is a 6. Good. And that's the young form, so they shouldn't actually see a dupe go in there until this guy becomes an adult. But eventually, this guy should automatically, or I say automatically, but one of the dupes should be instructed to move that over there. Since this area is empty, I don't think that super matters, but I'll cover that up. I'm going to put in water. Make sure that that's sweep only. So we should see dupes drop in. Yeah, there we are. A little bit of water being picked up and moved out of the way. But I suspect that's going to keep happening. I just can't think, because these guys don't output water. They output crude oil. When we get the molten form, they'll be outputting petroleum. Okay. Well, the other thing is a little bit of water that might eventually go into this pump. If I do consume this, that is going to cause some breakage in the machinery that try to use water instead of petroleum. I don't have any automation to pick up meat, but actually, why wouldn't I just do this? That way meat gets transferred from here to here to here. That way we get to test whether a meat actually can move down to the deep freezer, and the answer is yes, it can. And everything is almost done. Okay, we're going to have to look at that setup in that stable over time. But we're just about to test this whole setup. I think our cooling line is ready to be connected, so let's put that in now. I put this... Oh, that was for the volmoles. I might actually keep that there, because if the volmole comes and traps dupes, which actually happened in one occasion, that could be bad. I'll try, see if there's any left. Maybe we've got them all, finally. Oh no, one's missing. Okay. I think I meant I need a NOT gate, don't I? It outputs the opposite of what I need. So let's put that in like that. And that might be the last of the setup. Let's confirm if I've got power going through. I think we're gonna... We definitely need another set transformers, but let's not worry about that today. Let's go over flick here. Oh, right, I meant, forgot. I want to send more pips over. Maybe this time 20. Okay, throw that on the floor. Have these eggs transferred over to explore. So eventually, once they become critters, we can expand our Saturn critter traps. And next time, I'll cover that now. I think what we're going to do next time is build a rocket and melt the side of the wall so we can make a mat. Okay. Yep. That's what I was wondering. Okay, so final change for today. Let's deal with the fact that these rovers, mining equipment, can't access this and this. The last move for the day is just to add in more Robo Miners with the cooling system, with power access. And then I think we are good. So we've covered this whole section right here. At this point, this is where we're going to put in rockets. And as I mentioned, we'll probably put in automation to, or rather melt the rocket wall next time. Which means we're going to need a bunch of steel to make that happen. 11 tons of steel. So since I want that, in fact, don't know what our glass situation is. A ton of glass. We're going to need more glass, so I'll top that up while it's on my mind right now. Top this up as well. I may need more ceramic for future projects, so we'll start to ask for more ceramic. Definitely glad to see. I'm going to make a mental note. I've always been very paranoid about having any more than a couple tiles from the glass forge to where it is dropping off the molten glass. But actually quite happy to see that that can go a little bit further than I thought it could. So we'll definitely utilize that knowledge. Okay, so cooling system is wrapping around. Solar panels are now running, so we're getting power. So that reduces our reliance on, do this little section too, on our hydrogen. Speaking of which, oh, right. We can't advance any further because I don't want to waste the wild pips. Technically, this can go now. But yeah, hydrogen levels getting a little low. I may want to put a hydrogen system in here, but there's also aluminum volcano. Oh, speaking of volcanoes, probably not next time, but maybe soon. I'll tame this guy. So we'll start that process. Dig out everything except for the critical tile right there. Open that up a bit. So we've got our scanner. That should turn to false, closing the door before the next meteorite. If I find any damage happens, what that probably means is I'm putting too much, spreading the power too far. And the further I go, I'm also sharing that with all the Robo Miners, though I don't think the mining equipment and the mining equipment, lost my train of thought there, and the doors need to operate at the same time. Just need to make sure I do a couple key things such as that, such as this. Miss this one. Okay, let's be careful about this so I don't miss anything else. Just means that our cooling line will be less efficient if I don't catch this. And we should notice this automatically goes away. So if that's the case, that's really nice because it means I don't have to worry about it. Now, there we are. And we've got that slime that's technically going to, I guess, evaporate away unless I decide to scoop it up. I feel like that's not necessary. I could also put in a sweep, but you know what? That's not the priority for today. Let's just have a quick look. We're making power. Ugh, I'm gonna have to change that setting. Making power. We'll test whether this works, but this should give us protection from meteorites and undo the covered up of all the material that falls down. Awesome. Okay, and we've got our steel production and glass production going, so we'll be set for next time. All right, well, on Saturday, like I mentioned, probably we'll deal with some rockets, and we'll cover this side of our base. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully I'll see you next time.